Hi, welcome Trinity the Tuck, drag artist and alum of RuPaul's Drag Race. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Tracy. I'm excited to talk with you.
Of course. Well, we are here to talk about Trinity Ruins Christmas, the Chronicles of Sister Mary Kuntz. And would you first share with me the inspiration for this Christmas tale and the reemergence of your character, Sister Mary Kuntz?
Yes, so I first of all I love books, as you could see. This is
Yes,
a fraction of my books.
I love it.
I've always wanted to write and have an illustrated book. I love one of my things that got me into collecting books is really old vintage children's fables because they have these elaborate illustrations and the writing, the calligraphy is so pretty. And so it's like I really want to do something like that, but for adults. And when I was creating this story, I was like, we need a queer story around the holidays. And one of my favorite stories growing up was A Christmas Carol. And so why not make it about a drag queen instead of Scrooge? It's Trinity, and we were able to create it. And it's a super fun story. It has a great moral to the story, and some twists and turns that are different than the original that make it fun and interesting to read.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, since you said that A Christmas Carol was something that resonated with you when you were younger, would you share a little bit about why you think that was, why that particular story was special to you?
I think that as queer people, we are often misunderstood. And I
Mm,
think that Scrooge is also that way. You
mm,
know, I think that a lot of people look at villains and they automatically think, okay, they're bad, but we don't really look into the reason why they become who they are and what they do. And so, um, if you look at the story of Scrooge, he just, he went through a lot, and that's why he became why he
mm,
was the way he was. And so that's what kind of resonated with me, and that's I wanted to tell that story through the lens of a drag queen because we're especially right now we're very misunderstood,
mm.
and we're often made out to be villains. And the moral of the story is, to be a good person and to have empathy and kindness, and even if it's just a little bit.
Mhm.
And so I think that's what, as a kid, even not knowing, that's what resonated as a kid is uh,
Yeah.
the character being misunderstood.
I think that's so kind of revelatory because, as many times as I've seen A Christmas Carol, I've not had that reading of Scrooge, and I think that's really incredible. So thank you for sharing that. And I want to touch on you have some great collaborators on this project from Drag Race, including Ginger Minge and Alaska Thunder. And would you talk a bit about what it means to you that there's this community of drag artists who support one another and who are, kind of just there for each other, which is a little bit about what the crux of Christmas spirit really is.
One thing I love about the drag world, and yes, you're going to hear stories of like the shade, the drag shade, and all of that. But one thing I do love about the drag world is overall we're very supportive of each other, and
Mhm.
um, making sure that each of us get um, our names out there, our passions out there, our projects out there, and especially with the Drag Race alum, we were very supportive of each other. And I was very fortunate that the girls who signed on were really interested. We sent them to the demos of the songs, and they loved what each song was about, and each of them just knocked it out of the park. And so it was super meaningful for me to have these specific entertainers on this album because I specifically wanted them for these characters, and they all said yes. So and you're right, it's definitely about community. It's definitely about family. Holidays are all about that, and even if
Yeah.
it's not your birth family, it could definitely be your chosen family, like some of these girls that are on my album.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, thank you very much for that. And A Light in the Dark is the centerpiece kind of
Yeah.
song of this project, and I it comes around like the ghost of Christmas past.
Yeah.
And I think it's really fascinating that there's a younger Trinity who is being shown who they were. And would you just talk a little bit about how that song functions in this project and is really very inspirational?
Yes. So the ghost of Christmas past is the ghost who is really initially trying to let Trinity understand empathy and understanding and in a very gentle way. And it was, I think, the first time in the story, and maybe even in Trinity's life, that she self-reflected on why she was the way she was. And that was the moment she realized this all kind of happened because of the things that I've been through in my life. And as a child, my family kind of just left me for the holidays and all alone. And it kind of made her have this distaste for what the holidays are about because she didn't have family. And um, so the Light in the Dark is all about you're going to go through things in life, and it's all about knowing that negative and challenges are negativity and challenges are not always going to be there. There's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel if you persevere and keep working through it. You'll find the light. You'll find the positive, and get through it because nothing negative lasts forever.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you for that. And you touched on the idea of holidays and family and queer people, and a lot of queer people have really difficult relationships with their families, and because of that, the holiday season. And would you talk about what it means to you to reclaim Christmas for queer people, for your community, for our community, and what that means to you?
I'm not I grew up Southern Baptist, a very small Southern Alabama town, um, and growing up that way and growing up queer, you realize, religion, at least where I'm from, is made out to be against who you are as a person, that you can't change that. And so it's super important that you find your family and even in the people that you choose to be around. And holidays have always been a positive for me.
Mhm.
Growing up, I grew up kind of poor, so we didn't have a lot, but it was all about family. And I don't think my identity was even brought into that till I was in my teens. So I had a great positive view on the holidays. But it wasn't till much older that I realized, it's not about the toys under the tree or anything like that. It's really truly about surrounding yourself by loved ones that support you and love you for who you are, and that may be some of your biological family, but often for queer people, it's your chosen family. So we have to celebrate that, and it's not necessarily about religion. And if it is, that's great. And I support anyone believing in those things. But also, morality to me is more important. Being a good person and showing love and empathy and those things. So that's really about reclaiming that back for me.
Yes.
Those things, and don't be scared to celebrate those things and be your authentic self. Um, and the one thing you could do for that is surround yourself with people who do genuinely love and support you. Keep up with me on social medias at Trinity the Tuck. And if you want more information on my album and book, check out trinitythetuck.com.
Wonderful. Trinity the Tuck, thank you so much for being here with me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, and it's been a pleasure.